In the ancient lands of northern Nigeria, between the twin kingdoms of Kurguma and Zondaru, peace was a thin thread stretched over fire. For decades, both nations had claimed the River Gul, a sacred river believed to hold the spirit of ancestors and power to bless harvests. On a cold, moonless night, four assassins from Zondaru crossed the silent sands into Kurguma, their mission to slay King Kurguma of Kurguma before the next sunrise and end his reign of expansion. They moved like shadows through the wind, cloaked in desert dust and bound by blood oath. Their leader, Jubril the Silent Blade, was known for killing a man before his shadow fell. But fate, as the Griots say, is stronger than the sword. As they crept through the palace gates, a falcon shrieked, the sacred bird of Kurguma. The guards were roused. Steel clashed. The battle in the dark began. Two assassins, Jubril and his brother Seju, escaped into the night, but Kono and Yahaya were captured. Instead of death, King Kurguma ordered something strange. A sword may kill a man, but mercy can conquer his soul. The captured assassins were spared. They were thrown into the palace prison, but instead of torture, they were fed and trained under General Musa Danjuma, the king's most trusted war chief. Over time, Kono and Yahaya witnessed the king's justice, his fair treatment of the poor, his dedication to peace, and his wisdom in counsel. Loyalty began to bloom where hatred once ruled. They became two of Kurguma's fiercest warriors, known as the Sons of Redemption. Their knowledge of Zondaru's tactics turned the tide of war in favor of Kurguma. Meanwhile, the two assassins who escaped, Jubril and Seju, returned to Zondaru expecting reward. But when they confessed their failure, Amir Zokari, ruler of Zondaru, ordered their execution. Failure is a curse, and no cursed blood shall flow in my court. They were slain publicly, their families exiled, and the Emir declared total war on Kurguma. The war drums thundered across the plains. Spears gleamed beneath the rising sun. The armies met at the valley of Gaidam, where rivers ran red and dust swallowed the cries of men. But King Kurguma was not a man of mere strength, he was a man of strategy. By his side was Adamu the Hawk, his war advisor, a man who could read the wind and foresee the enemy's steps. He devised plans so precise that even the sand seemed to obey him. Zondaru's army advanced, confident in their numbers. But unknown to them, Adamu and the Sons of Redemption had prepared a deadly ambush. At the Dogo Hills, they carved narrow paths through the rock, where Kurguma's archers hid like spirits. When Zondaru's cavalry marched through the gorge, a rain of arrows poured from above, blackening the sky. Boulders rolled down, crushing men and horses. The desert itself became a grave. Kurguma's warriors charged from both flanks, roaring the name of their king. In 1 hour, Zondaru's pride was shattered, but victory came with a whisper of darkness. Among the fallen Zondaru warriors lay a masked assassin, Seju, Jubril's brother. He had survived the execution by escaping in disguise, returning for vengeance. He fought fiercely, killing scores of men before being wounded by Yahaya, one of the Sons of Redemption. As he fell, he whispered, "Greater than." Even shadows remember their oaths. The war ended, but his words haunted King Kurguma. Years later, peace returned to the land. The River Gul once again flowed untainted. Kurguma became a symbol of unity, a kingdom where even enemies could be reborn as brothers. At the king's annual festival, the Griots sang, "Mercy forged the sword that conquered hate. From shadows rose warriors of light, and in the dust of battle, peace found its throne." The king looked upon his people and said, "True victory is not in the death of enemies, but in the birth of loyalty." After the war, the king built fortified walls and opened new trade routes for merchant. The two kings, Kurguma and Zokari, had sworn before their ancestors to never raise arms again. Kurguma flourished, farmlands bloomed, merchants filled the markets, and the people sang songs of the lion who fought with mercy. King Garuba grew older but wiser, guided by Adamu the Hawk and the loyal Sons of Redemption, now generals of the Royal Guard. But peace had a shadow. In Zondaru, Emir Zakari's heart burned with quiet hatred. Though he had bowed in defeat, humiliation gnawed at his soul. His advisors whispered, "A king who kneels is no king. Reclaim your honor, even if it costs your soul." Deep beneath the emir's palace, in the caverns of Ruga Danja, a hidden army was being forged. Zakari called it the Army of Dust, men born from betrayal, trained in silence, wrapped in darkness. They were taught to fight in the night, strike without sound, and vanish like wind. Their general was a mysterious figure, Seiju. The assassin thought to have died years ago. Yes, Seiju had survived his execution, saved secretly by a Zondaru priest who healed him with forbidden desert herbs. His loyalty was twisted by pain. His only desire, to kill King Garuba and reclaim his brother Jubral's honor. Seiju whispered to the emir, "Mercy is weakness. Let us show the lion that shadows do not kneel." In Kurguma, King Garuba began to dream of a black falcon flying over a burning river. He awoke each night in fear. His war advisor, Adamu the Hawk, warned him, "Your mercy saved a man who still drinks from the cup of vengeance. The past is stirring again, my king." But Garuba refused to believe Zakari would betray him. "He has changed. Adamu, let us not live by suspicion." Yet, Adamu secretly sent scouts to watch the borders, and what they discovered chilled him. At the dunes of Fotaru, a patrol of Kurguma, warriors found strange boot tracks and burned symbols on the rocks, the mark of Zondaru's royal crest. They also found the corpse of a trader, throat slit, but carrying a scroll sealed with the emir's emblem. Inside the scroll were orders for a new war campaign. Dated under the name Saidu ibn Jubril, Adamu rode through the night to the palace, shouting, "The river of peace has been poisoned. The emir builds an army of ghosts." King Garuba's face hardened. His eyes, once soft with mercy, now burned like steel. Then the lion will roar again, determined not to be caught unprepared. Garuba began to form his own secret army, a new generation of warriors trained under the shadows. They were called the Hidden Blades of Kurguma, drawn from orphans, ex-slaves, and nomads. They were taught by the Sons of Redemption to strike like lightning and vanish into sand. The training grounds were deep in the caves of Quanari, far from the city. Adamu devised new tactics, silent communication using coded drums, desert camouflage, and traps woven with palm ropes and fire oil. If Zondaru plans to rise from dust, Adamu said, then we will become the storm that buries them. Meanwhile, Emir Zakari traveled to the mountains of Turaki to meet foreign mercenaries, desert raiders from beyond the Niger. He offered them gold, salt, and land in exchange for their spears. Kurguma sleeps under the illusion of peace, he told them. We will wake them with fire. The mercenaries agreed, swelling his army with thousands of savage riders. Saidu led them in battle training, his eyes burning with revenge. Saidu launched his first strike, a test of strength. He sent a small force to cross the desert of glass, disguised as traders. But Adamu had spies among them. When they reached the Midway Dunes, Kurguma's hidden blades unleashed their trap. Mirrors and burning oil set to reflect sunlight. The desert became a blazing inferno, blinding the invaders. Arrows fell like rain. Saidu lost 200 men in one morning. Yet he smiled coldly. So, the lion has awakened, he murmured, good. Weeks later, Zondaru's army struck again, this time at the oasis of Mojuru. Adamu had poisoned the water with desert, resin and buried traps beneath the palm roots. At night, as Saidu's men drank and rested, explosions ripped through the oasis, fires reflecting off the water as Kurguma's archers attacked from the cliffs. The screams echoed for miles. "This is the price of betrayal," whispered Adamu, watching from afar. Enraged, Seidu planned to strike directly at Kurguma's heart, the capital. He led his army through the desert of thorns during a sandstorm, but Adamu, ever watchful, used the storm against him. He ordered torches placed along false paths, leading Zondaru's troops into a ring of burning oil trenches. The storm spread the flames, a fiery tornado consuming men, camels and banners. Only Seidu escaped, his face scarred by fire, his heart consumed by hatred. At last, King Garuba rode to the River Gul, the border where he once granted mercy. There, waiting for him, stood Seidu and Emir Zokari, their faces dark with vengeance. "Zokari, you gave me mercy, but took my crown. Garuba, I gave you peace, but you chose war." They clashed beneath a blood-red sky. Spears met shields, swords met flesh. Adamu fought side by side with the king, while the Sons of Redemption battled Seidu's elite guards. During the chaos, Seidu struck Garuba's chest with a spear, but the king caught it with his bare hand. Bleeding yet unbroken, "You cannot kill mercy," he said, and drove his sword through Seidu's armor. The river roared again, red as before. Emir Zokari fled, but was captured by the hidden blades. Instead of execution, Garuba ordered him to live, exiled in the desert, stripped of crown and title. "Let the desert judge your soul," Garuba declared. Zondaru fell, its banners torn and scattered to the wind. Kurguma rose as the most powerful kingdom of the north. The griots sang, "Mercy saves, but mercy also bleeds. For in every heart forgiven, a seed of betrayal hides. Yet only kings who forgive can rule the world of men." King Garuba returned home, older, wiser, and alone, the scars on his chest a reminder that peace must always be guarded, even from those once forgiven. As the moon rose over the River Gul, a falcon cried again, not in warning, but in mourning.